As a group, we were all able to work collaboratively. All members were reliable and punctual to every group meeting, where we shared information on particular topics and questions we were assigned to. At times when schedules were busy, our group managed to communicate effectively via social media such as Facebook. Through it, we exchanged information and gave each other valuable feedback. We were also present to the site visit at the Hyde Park Barracks, which worked very well as we were all able to share our point of views and see each other's perspectives on the site.
The Hyde Park Barracks is a site that provides powerful teacher field knowledge, as it has recently been announced by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization Heritage List as one of 11 preeminent Australian convict sites, due to its association with convict transportation, forced migration, colony building, and convict culture. Designed and built by a convict architect named Francis Greenway in 1817 to 1819, the Hyde Park Barracks compound was built with the purpose of housing convict men and women. Now a museum, the Hyde Park Barracks displays many rooms full of exhibitions of archaeological artifacts, such as old convict records, books, letters and documents, and belongings of convicts such as old coins, spoons, and pipes. The museum also provides rooms which depict the living conditions of the convicts that were held there. Thus, the Hyde Park Barracks provide for a better understanding of convicts and the experiences they endured.
Hyde Park Barracks covers the history syllabus. It is covering stages 2 and 3 in the syllabus, which is aimed at years 5 and 6. Visiting Hyde Park Barracks, the students will learn about the British colonisation. The students will be able to experience and get a deeper understanding of the convicts' daily routines and rigours. It is very interactive with touchscreen activities, props to try on like clothing, shackles, and displays of maps and tools and weapons used. The barracks will cover topics like culture in Australia, including a little bit of Aboriginal culture. Students will learn the importance of intercultural understanding through examining the perspectives, beliefs, and values of people past and present. They will also learn about change and continuity and be able to investigate their connections with the past through personal, family, and local community history. They will be able to examine events and people that have shaped Australian colonies and the nation. There will be learning opportunities for social systems and structures. Students will continue to learn about the role, rights and responsibilities people that had within society and development of Australian democracy. The students will be able to see the contribution of individuals and groups to Australian society in areas such as economy, education and the arts. Following the New South Wales HSIE K-6 syllabus, such stages describe the events associated with the British colonisation of Australia. Students will develop an understanding of and will assess the changes and consequences as they investigate the stories of the British colonisation. Moreover, the Stage 3 outcomes should enable students to demonstrate an understanding of the significance of people, particular groups, places, actions and events in the past which played a role in developing Australian identity and heritage. This includes explaining the differing experiences of people living in Australia over time and the changes and impact of colonisation on the cultures of Indigenous Australians.
Prior to visiting Hyde Park Barracks as a group, we browsed the Sydney Living Museum's website to get a brief idea of what the museum was like, what to expect, and also to gain some basic historic information about the site, such as what year it was built, why it was built, important periods in time, and finally, details about the convict architect Francis Greenway. Research on the topic of British colonisation and the convict arrival in Australia also broadened our knowledge on the topic. In addition to this, the New South Wales HSIE K-6 syllabus was an imperative piece of resource used, which determined the stage outcomes that learning about the Hyde Park Barracks covered. Finally, we looked at Chapter 6 of the Teaching Humanities and Social Science textbook, which covered the topic of history.
Learning about the perspectives and stories of a range of people such as women, migrants, convicts, workers and Aboriginal people will provide students a more well-informed and complete picture of Australia's history. In light of this, highlighting the importance of Hyde Park Barracks and the history of convict transportation and the expansion of European colonies, should be a topic well implemented in the classroom. In order to really understand and appreciate such a historical topic, teachers should make it fun and engaging for the students. For example, encouraging imaginative play allows children to create an imaginary situation in which they can explore worlds other than their own. For example, on visiting the site, there were clothes and items that showed what life was like back then. As a group, a few ideas then came to mind. Students should bring some old, ripped or raggy clothes, whatever they wore back then, and wear them to class for the lesson. This way, students can actually feel as if they were a part of that time period, while at the same time learning about the routines and roles of the men and women during that time. Also, while the teacher is explaining what the convicts did during their pastimes, the students can actually take part in playing the games such as checkers, chance, dominoes and marbles. Chatterboxes with information can also be used to relay information. Hodgkinson recommended teacher-prepared cards with pictures and a couple of relevant dates to be used for a number of sequencing activities. Our learning objective, which involves a game of cards, will display this. Furthermore, students can become very confused with dates, so activities to help them sort out those difficulties are important. Timelines therefore become very important in primary classrooms to make visual the idea of a sequence of events. Simple timelines with dates and key facts can help young children identify important events in time. Excursions to the site should also be implemented about the topic in order for the students to have their knowledge heightened. Excursions are a good way for students to interact with both primary and secondary resources. From our visit to Hyde Park Barracks, we experienced the original building, which contained paintings, photos. There were walls with name engravings, and one of the rooms was dedicated to a collection of items that had been found underneath the barracks floorboards. As a group, in this room we discussed creating an activity for children which involves sifting through sand or dirt to find key objects. This role-play activity will make the children feel like archaeologists. Presenting students with artifacts from the past allows them to ask questions about how these objects impact their life today. Thus, they develop a conceptual understanding.
The learning object our group has created is our interpretation of the card game Chance, which the convicts used to play before work in the early mornings and before going to bed at night. This was played along with many other games they created, including dice, dominoes, and marbles. To make the most of this time and relieve their boredom, convicts would often gamble when playing these games as a way of remembering their past lives and escaping their now treacherous life in the barracks. In order to construct these items, the resources the convicts used included Bible pages, bone, and wood. Therefore, to recreate this look for a classroom activity that students would be able to make for themselves, we have cut out card and dipped it in coffee, glued on torn pages of an old book, and applied images of the prominent roles convict, inspector, judge, prison guards played by the people living in this time. We have labelled this game To the Barracks because playing this game not only places you into the shoes of a convict, but you are able to learn from the facts placed on the back of these cards of the severity of their lifestyle. For example, men worked from sunrise to sunset with only 2 meal breaks and an hour free in the evenings. In order to play this game, we have chosen to play it like Snap, where when 2 cards have the same image, you smack your hand down and win the cards, as we believe that this is an easy concept for students to grasp. This is how we imagine it to be played.